Yeah, we got the pack mentality setting in. The dogs look at each other, say, hey, you gonna come after this guy? You stay back, dog. No. Stay back. No. We're still climbing. None of those dogs have any confidence on their own. They're followers. They look at each other for confidence. And that's good for me, because I don't want a bunch of confident, mean-ass dogs coming up here and trying to bite me. All right, so we made it to the top of that hill. We've leveled out. Pretty soon we'll climb up to the top of this next one, and then at the top we turn left. So off to my right, I can see Windstar Casino. It's kind of behind me over there. So we're further north than Windstar Casino, which is in Oklahoma, but yet we're in Texas. And that's just because the river makes a big dip. Makes a big dip right over there. It goes down and then back up. But yeah, we're further north than the Windstar Casino in Thackerville in Oklahoma right now. But we are in Texas. We're climbing for sure right now. Now we're topping the hill. Now we're going downhill. Some good views right here. I don't know if y'all can see, but there's about 100 windmills off there out in front of me. Out in front of us. We're gonna ride right up next to some of them on our way back. But they go further west than we're gonna go. So there was a cyclist out here today. I can see their tracks right here in the road. It's probably that guy we saw up there earlier who turned off onto the pavement just before we got to him. Yeah, let's be careful going down this hill. We could get going too fast, way too easily, so we have to ride our brakes a little bit. We don't know what the road conditions are quite like down there. Got some washboarding, some loose gravel. Just don't want to get going too fast on it. We're not here to race, we're here to enjoy the experience. And if y'all want to race, all you have to do is turn up the normal speed to twice as fast or 1.5 times as fast. Then y'all can feel what it's like to race down this hill. All right, now all of a sudden we're climbing again. I'm gonna pull out my trekking pole, save that knee, that real knee a little bit. Yeah, it looks like, judging, okay, there's a car coming up ahead, I can hear it. Yeah, it's coming fast. Look at that truck. I'm gonna get over here so you can see us. Oh man, slow down, dude. Kicking up a lot of dust. All right, as I was saying before I started hearing this truck coming, the bicycle tracks I see in front of us, I can tell that there was only one person that rode out here ahead. You know, today there's only been one other cyclist on this road. It wasn't two, it wasn't three, it was just one. Probably just less than 3 hours ago. My guess is it's a guy named Mitchell, lives at Moss Lake. I haven't met him, but I follow him on Strava, and I know he does this route pretty often. So that, my guess is that's who we're following right now, his tracks. He follows me on Strava too, so when this ride is completed, I'll go back and check and see if he was out here, and then I'll know. Of course, it may be somebody else that I'm following. You know, it could be Several different people, really. Could be somebody from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Just came down here for the day to enjoy their Saturday. You just never know. We are climbing though, so y'all work. We're going into this northwest wind, and we're climbing. Yeah, looks like we've got an Amber Alert. Bells, Texas. Unknown license plate. Maroon 2020 Ford Explorer.
6YO with F Maroon 2020 Ford Explorer, unknown license plate.
Six-year-old white female child. That's who they're trying to find. I hope she makes it home safely. I hope they find her. But I'm going to turn off this Amber Alert. All right, now we're really climbing. Kind of slowed me down back there. Some washboarding, some real wide washboarding that I had to go over those bumps. Slowed me down. Now we're climbing, so let's just spin. Turn up the resistance on your machine. Shortly after we make it to the top of this hill, we'll veer to the right. And then we'll just fight that headwind all the way to Marysville and then fight our way back. Well, maybe ride that tailwind a little bit on the way back, hopefully. Thinking about maybe looking at the Murraysville Cemetery, show y'all that, but I don't know, I haven't decided yet. We may just ride right past that. Still spinning. Almost made it. Once we do make it, then we got another one to climb. Just one more until we turn right. Spin, spin, let's climb, let's do it. We're making it. Haha. Feel that burn? I sure feel it. Come on. All right, we're about there. We made it. Now we made it. Haha. So now we're kind of in deer hunting country. A lot of deer hunters out here. I see a deer stand off to the right over there behind that tree. Not seeing any traffic. If we see any traffic at all, it'll probably be a deer hunter. We just climbed a hill, a little hill. Now we're going to climb another little hill, and then we'll level out and go down into the Red River Valley. And then we'll climb out of it. And then we'll go up and down again. This is a lot of hills. About to enter an area with a lot of hills. So now we're about to go down into the Forest of Doom. Let's not get going too fast down this hill, because somebody come flying up out of this valley around this curve. So we're not gonna go too fast. Until we get around this curve, then we can speed it up. So this forest is really dark in the spring and summer because all these trees have leaves on them. It doesn't seem too intimidating right now, but man, it's really dark even on a bright sunshiny day like today when these trees are filled out with leaves. Alright, so we just climbed up a pretty steep hill, and now we're going down the other side of it. And once we cross this creek up here, then we got a long climb. Starts right on the other side of this bridge. So now we are going to climb. Spin. Y'all turn up your resistance. So this ride is going to be the longest, or equivalent to the longest ride I've done since I broke my left leg. Got that metal installed, but this one's going to have more climbing than the last one that I did that was this far. So it may end up being a little further too. But yeah, this is one of those long hills. Not super steep, but it's steep enough to make you hurt. And we just made it through, I think, what was the steepest part, but there's no relief. It doesn't end right here, it just keeps going. So we've just got to spin and be patient. Go at the speed that the hill kind of dictates to us. And climb up it. Oh, we're almost there. Almost. I hate to talk too much in this area because there is a lot of wildlife. We might get up over a hill and see some deer. So if I talk too much or too loud, I might scare them before we ever see them. We are getting to the top of this hill. We're very close. All right, we're leveling out. We made it, y'all. Good job. We're gonna go down a little bit and then climb some more. Almost to the top of this hill. Good deal. Now we made it. And it'll be a roller coaster between here and Marysville. And then we got a real big one, a few real big ones to climb coming out of Marysville. But Marysville's a neat little town. It's a ghost town, but it's one of the first settlements that existed here in Cook County. And the man who pretty much was responsible for the colonization of this county, this area, he's buried up here. He'd be a real controversial right now, but back then he was the first guy here, and he did kill off the Indians, and he was a surveyor, and he was the head juror for the Great Hanging, and he plotted off sections of land and tried to make it a desirable place for settlers to move to, which they did. He kind of was the first, I consider him the first white man in Cook County. I mean, because he may not have been the first white man to step foot in Cook County, but he brought the settlers. He was the surveyor. He plotted the land, sectioned it off for colonization. We may go look at his grave. You know, I don't know exactly where it is, but we can go look for it when we get to Marysville. It's just, I don't know about riding my bicycle on the grass in that cemetery, because there might be big stickers, could get a flat tire, so we'll decide when we get there. Bumpy. I gotta slow down or I'll lose control right here. Oh, very bumpy. We got some deer hunters over here to our right. Looks like they've got a wild hog issue. I see the ground is tilled up by wild hogs over here to the right. All right, so we're gonna cross this bridge and then we got some more climbing to do. We could go down here. I think we'll do this. We're gonna go down here and cross the water. We got a low water crossing. We could do that. We got two options really. This low water crossing used to be the only way to get across this creek. And then they built that bridge off to the right. So if it doesn't look too deep, it looks safe enough, we will cross right here. Just so y'all can experience a low water crossing. And then once we get on the other side, we've got to really climb out. Yeah, this is it. It's one of the low water crossings in this area. All right, so we're just going to pedal on across right here. All right, we made it. So far. We got to climb out though. Not the easiest thing for a one-legged man to do, but I think we're gonna make it no problem. It gets steeper right here, so I'm gonna put down my trekking pole. Don't want to get smacked by a truck coming around a corner here, so I got to stay quiet and listen. We are climbing out. Come on, let's work, y'all. Good job. We made it out almost, but then we're still climbing. Wow. Still got to climb up this little hill. It's definitely faster to bypass that low water crossing, but those are kind of rare these days, so it's worth the experience to just go down there and cross it. If nothing else, we cleaned my tires and wheels off. Washed them all. Got some of that dust off of them. Off of the sidewalls at least. We're still climbing, and we will be climbing until we pass this barn up here on the right. Got a really big mansion up there on that hill. Somebody's got a great view. Isolation from the road. Still climbing across or past this barn that I told you we would end up needing to pass, but we still gotta climb. I'm starting to get thirsty, y'all. I'm gonna pull out the water bottle and take a swig here in a second once we level out up here. All right, we're starting to level out. Ah. That'll do for now. These people over here made a house out of 2 shipping containers. They've got more shipping containers back down behind those cedar trees. I don't know if it's their full-time home or just a weekend getaway, but kind of a neat low budget living situation right here. Kind of neat. Now we're climbing again. We're getting pretty close to Marysville. Got 2 or 3 miles to go before we get there, I believe. Maybe less. We'll see. Chug-a chug chug. Let's get up this hill. So I take this road to the right a lot of times when I want to go further than we're going today, but since this is my first time this way since the accident, we're just going to take the shorter route. And this actually takes us into Marysville. If we were to go turn right back there, we would bypass Marysville. We are climbing, so let's work up this hill. Let's work our way up this hill. All right, we're basically in Marysville. We're coming into it. I think I am going to go to the cemetery. I don't know if I'm going to go in yet to show y'all around, but we'll drive up to the gate at least for sure. This is how we get to the cemetery. We turn left right here. And this will get us to the Murraysville Cemetery. Now this building right here, it appears to be a Masonic lodge right now, but what it was a one-room schoolhouse. That's what it used to be back when Marysville was populated with a lot of people. It was their school building. This road goes a little way downhill, and we're gonna check out this cemetery. Hopefully not get a flat tire, because I don't want to get off my bike and walk around this cemetery, just because my cycling leg isn't really good for that. So if anything, we'll ride our bike through it on the grass. Hope to not get a sticker in our tires. All right, this is the Murraysville Cemetery, and let's see if I can open this gate without getting off my bicycle. Yep, that worked. All right, so what I'm gonna do is just show y'all the cemetery, and I'm gonna look for the grave of that settler, the guy who Montague County is named after, Daniel Montague. I'm gonna look for his grave. Looks like we got a pretty darn new grave right here. But as I said, it's an old cemetery. A lot of settlers buried here. People from way back in the day. And I'll show you, this is a bigger cemetery than it initially looks like. We just don't want to get any stickers in our tires. But I've made the decision to come in here, so we are taking that risk. But yeah, this is the Murraysville Cemetery. And I saw a video on YouTube of this Daniel Montague's grave, and I think I can find it. I think I can find it, y'all. And this may be it right here. I think so, because the fence is what I recognize about it. Sure enough. Okay, so this is the grave of Daniel Montague. He died, it says he died in 1876. So he was age, it says 78 years old. And that's his wife right there. She was born in 1818, wife of Daniel Montague. It doesn't say when she died. It just says that her name was Jane, wife of Daniel Montague. So Daniel Montague was the first white man in Cook County. He was the head juror for the great hanging that happened in Gainesville. And so after the great hanging, you know, the Civil War was lost, and he was upset about that. You know, he was a southern boy, you know, southerner, and he went to Mexico. But then he came back, I believe he came back from Mexico in 1876, lived here with his wife, and ended up dying. I think she was his third or fourth wife. Seemed like most of his children didn't make it to adulthood. They died, you know, because back then there's no antibiotics. And he was a surveyor. And so what he did was he plotted off land, sectioned it off for settlers to come and colonize here in this area. And he got with those settlers, and they rode up and down the Red River and shot up Indians. You know, they felt like that's what they had to do to claim this land, is to shoot the Indians. So there's a grove named after him, Montague Grove. It's in the golf course in Sherman, where he went in and shot about 16 or 17 Native Americans in a cove. And the legend is that to this day, Indian paintbrushes grow where all that blood was spilled. So, but Daniel Montague left Cook County before my ancestors came here. My ancestors, William Owen Davis, was the first one to come to Gainesville in 1870. So Daniel Montague was still alive, but he had gone to Mexico. And my great uncle, William Owen Davis, first ancestor here in Cook County who went to Gainesville, he was the first lawyer, and he actually incorporated Gainesville as a city. It was just a settlement before then. And so he was county judge, mayor, first mayor of Gainesville. But I bet they knew each other. Anyway, that's a little bit of history I wanted to show y'all. But this is the Murraysville Cemetery, and I wanted to find this grave, and I've been here to this cemetery, but I've never found that grave site before. And I got on YouTube and I found a video somebody who did find this grave site, and I recognized that metalwork right there. So that's how I was able to find it this time. All right, y'all, we're gonna go back and loop on through Marysville and get on out of here, go back to Gainesville. I may check my tires right once we get back on the road and see if I get any big stickers in them. But there's a lot to know about Daniel Montague. I don't even know, but if you get online and start studying, you'll find out he did a lot. And he accumulated a lot of land. And this Cook County, you know, and Grayson County and Montague County, they weren't even divided into counties when he got here. Like, he was just, it was really the wild, wild west when he got here. And he came to Texas to fight he heard about the Battle of the Alamo, and he came to fight in the Battle of San Jacinto, but it just had happened when he arrived. And so he's from that time period. You know, he probably knew Davy Crockett. Well, he didn't know, I don't know, maybe he did know Daniel Boone, Davy Crockett, but he'd had to have met them before the Alamo. Anyway, the Battle of the Alamo inspired him to come to Texas as a soldier. So that's how old that dude is. This was totally different place, totally different time period. Judging him based on standards of today isn't fair. You know, it's just, that guy was a brave man who took a lot of risks, and I think he deserves to be remembered for everything he did, and not just painted as some kind of villain, but just as a settler and a brave pioneer. That's what he was in my mind. And I understand he did things that are controversial, but Everybody did back then. They didn't make it right, but we all kind of live in the environment we're raised and born in, and that's what he did. In his environment, he was a brave settler. And this was a risky place to be. It was a risky place to be a surveyor. I'll put it this way, the Indians, the Native Americans, the guy had, so Daniel Montague, he had red hair. The Indians were all over this place. They put a bounty on his head, like his scalp. His red hair was worth a lot to the Native Americans. And so if he didn't kill them, they were gonna kill him. He knew the Indians coveted his red scalp. That's what it was like here, just trying to not get scalped. So he needed to bring other people in here to survive, you know. He couldn't survive by himself, but he was the first, or one of the very first people here, and the one tasked with surveying and sectioning off land for settlers. Which of course he sectioned off a lot of land for himself, but I guess it was there for the taking in his eyes. I don't know, you know, I just know what little research I've done on the internet. I'm not like a historian, so y'all want to know more, y'all look it up. Anyway, I showed you his grave, and now we're going in further into Marysville. Hope my friend Kevin Beal's doing okay. He's up over in this establishment to our right. He was battling COVID. He was in the ICU for a while. He gave us quite a scare, but he made it. So hopefully he's enjoying his recovery right up there on that hill. And then we got a church right here to the left. And this is Marysville. This is where the official intersection of Marysville, right here. So now we're gonna head back. We get a little more water before we climb this next hill. Mary's Climb. It's quite a hill. Mary's Climb is steep and long. We got these old buildings. If you look up Marysville, you'll find out it was quite an establishment, quite a big pioneer settlement. But there's still people that go to that church. You know, I come by here on Sundays sometimes, and there's that church back there. It's got a good sized congregation. But yeah, Mary's Climb, once we go down this hill across the bridge, then we're gonna climb a really steep, tall hill. To tell you the truth, I'm curious to see how I'm gonna handle it after recovering from that broken leg about 15 weeks ago. Another reason is because I'm not clipped in now. I don't want to clip in because I broke my ankle, and I just don't want to clip in. I'm scared to clip in until at least after I get the metal taken out of this ankle, if I ever get the metal taken out. But I don't ever want to risk not being able to put this foot down like in an instant. So clipping in, it's going to make it harder to climb, and so we're going to put it to the test, not being clipped in and being an amputee, above knee amputee, climbing Mary's Hill. It's long, it's fairly steep. Not the steepest, but it's probably the biggest I've done since my accident. Since the failed assassination attempt on my life. It wasn't my accident, somebody else's supposedly an accident. When he got caught, it was an accident, but he tried to hit me, run me into the ditch. All right, so we're going uphill. Y'all need to be putting in the work right now, turning up your resistance, but it's gonna get harder here in a little bit. Right before we get to the peak, that's when it gets the hardest. Don't you just love those hills? Just get harder and harder as you go. All right, now I'm gonna put my trekking pole down and use my right arm to help us climb up this hill. Huh. Let's go, y'all. This is where it's pretty steep. And we're already spent, so it burns. Let's go. If you can't turn up the resistance on your machine, then sprint right here, because you need to feel this burn. Come on, let's feel it together. Come on, y'all. We're gonna make it, y'all. Come on, come on, let's spin, let's make it. Oh man, we got it. Praise Jesus. It's not easy. So we're gonna go downhill a little bit, and then we got another little one to climb, but it's nothing like what we just did. Let's go. Now the climbing is gonna get pretty rough, y'all, so start turning up your resistance. We're gonna do some not so steep, but definitely long climbing right here. It ain't gonna end until we get to the, well, it's gonna be a while. So let's just start working now. Ho ho ho. We are climbing. I'm gonna climb up this curve. We're just gonna keep going until we don't keep going. And we're at the top. Ho, ho, ho. I'm still feeling that burn from back on Mary's climb, so. I'm gonna use a trekking pole on this one. But let's get up it. Y'all, if you're not feeling the burn right now, then y'all aren't turning up your resistance enough on your indoor machines. So let's do it. Let's start really powering up. It actually is pretty steep right here. Come on, come on. All right, we got a car coming. I'm gonna get on the ride. Hope he's on his correct side. Yeah, he is. It's a great thing about a bicycle. It's so silent. You hear people coming. Whereas at a motorcycle, you wouldn't be able to. But we're still climbing, y'all. My butt hurts, my legs hurt. And we are still climbing, but we're almost there. Huh. Come on, come on. About to level out a little bit. All right, we're not climbing quite so hard. We are climbing, leveling out a little bit right here before we do a little more climbing. Ha ha ha. Gotta stand up, resituate my butt on the seat. All right, we made it up the real tough stuff for now, but we're still climbing, so come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. Climbing, climbing. Ah. The good news is we don't really have a headwind. We don't really have a tailwind either, but there is a tailwind component. Ow, my chain skipped. There is a tailwind component to it. All right, we're at the top of this hill, or we're leveling out at least. I'm glad I found the grave of Daniel Montague, because I got another child abduction Amber Alert. It's the same one. Yeah, but I'm glad we found that grave, because I mean, he died in 1876, so I mean, like, he probably never even heard of an automobile, like the concept. They got around on horses. We came out here all the way from Gainesville on a bicycle, but even this bicycle is a way better mode of transportation than riding a horse. And keep in mind, you know, like, he didn't have gravel roads like this. He was just riding, like, there were no fences. He's just riding across the open prairies, trying not to get shot up with arrows by Indians, you know. So I mean, totally different time period, perspective I can't even wrap my brain around. But you know, we saw someone, you know, he lived to be 78 years old. He died in 1876, so he was born in 1798. Like, I mean, his whole life was a time period that we can't relate to. True pioneer. Dude was a true pioneer. Guy with red hair in Indian territory. On the edge of Indian territory. Yeah, Oklahoma being Indian territory, but I don't even know back that far. I don't know when Oklahoma was established as Indian territory. Have to Google that. Hostile territory, that's for sure. All around here. All right, so we're gonna go down. We got another low water crossing. This one, you know, there's no other options but to go across it. Basically, it's a better one, better quality low water crossing, but climbing out of it, we got a really steep hill to climb up coming out of this river right here. So there's no, it doesn't look like we got any water flowing, which is good. I don't want to get splashed with water, but we got a steep climb out of it. You'll see. So y'all turn up your resistance. Get ready for this climb. It's only just beginning. It's gonna get tough. I think this will be our last really steep climb. There's another hill that's really even steeper and way taller. We could go up, but I think I'm just gonna bypass that one and make this our last steep one. But this is a short one. It's real short, but it's real steep. So I'm gonna start using my trekking pole right now. Y'all start making your muscles burn. Let's go, come on. Huh. I just gotta stay quiet and listen for traffic. But let's go. Just burn our way up, come on. It's real steep right here, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, y'all. We're almost there. But we cannot give up, or we will not make it. Come on. Come on. Yes. So the climbing's not going to stop, but man, we made it through the hardest part already. At least we don't have a headwind. The worst is when you come up out of here into a serious headwind. You're still climbing. But you don't have to deal with that today. Just the climbing, but y'all keep working, because if we stop pedaling, we would crawl to a stop really fast, because we are climbing. Let's go, let's go. We're still climbing, but it's not that hard. So up here, we're gonna come to a T in the road. We can turn right or go left. If we go right, it's gonna add about 5 miles to the ride. It's gonna be some tough climbing too. If you go to left, we're gonna have some pretty scenery. And we're gonna get home faster. So I think that's what I'm gonna do today. We'll save that other hill for another day. It's a good ride, good amount of climbing we're doing as is. So stay with me and we'll see a lot of new territory. Coming up on these windmills too. We definitely see more of them if we turn right, but we'll see plenty of them if we turn left too. This will be the eastern border of this windmill farm that runs, mainly it's north of Munster, but these windmills used to look big to me until I saw the Wildcat Creek windmill farm, and those windmills are even bigger. These have been here a few years. Now we're climbing a little more. It's getting a little steeper, so y'all turn up to your resistance. All right, we're turning left now. We did quite a climb. We're at the top of the hill. Now we're going down the hill. You know, they're feeding those cows hay over there, but I'm not really sure they need hay. There's so much grass growing out in the field. They'd probably be fine with that, but not my cows, not my land. Sure is pretty though. Pretty area. So we're coming up on these windmills, and once we get up here, it's gonna make an L. We're gonna turn to the left. about as close as we're gonna get to the windmills today. Some rides we go all over the windmill farm, zigzag around and get real close to all of them, but today, this group, these windmills right here are the closest ones we're gonna get to on this ride. Now we're climbing. Let's burn up this hill. We'll get to the top and then we'll turn left. Come on, come on, come on. If you couldn't do it, you wouldn't be here. Come on, we know you can do this. It's gravy for y'all compared to what we've done so far. Come on. Let's just feel some burning. Let's get up this hill. Rocks are really loose on this curve. You gotta go kind of slow. But yeah, these windmills tell you just what direction the wind's coming from. It's coming out of the northwest, but primarily out of the west. Oh, I see a group of wild hogs way off over there. No, those are well, I don't know. They're either wild hogs or buzzards, but it's off over there. Maybe hogs or, I mean, buzzards eating some dead animal, but we can't zoom in on it. If we did, if we had a zoom in lens, I would stop here and give you all a better look of whatever it is. All right, so we're going down a hill. And then, as you can see, we're going to climb a hill. So that was some fun downhill back there, some fun descending. Not too steep really, but we did have a bit of a tailwind, so it was nice. Pretty level right now. We're actually starting to climb. We're gonna get up here and turn left, go past this farmhouse up here. Let's climb. This is work, y'all. Come on, let's go. It's not gonna end when we get around this turn. We gotta keep climbing until we get to this farmhouse. It's gonna be on our right. Come on, come on. And not easy. Let's go. After what we've already done, we've got some burning in our legs going on. Let's go though. Let's keep working. Huh. Keep spinning, keep spinning. Just keep spinning, just keep spinning. I'm real happy with how this ride's going, especially now that we don't have that wind in our face. Just a great way to end a ride. Of course, we're barely halfway through it, probably 2/3 of the way through it right now, but it's going well now. Come on though, we gotta be feeling that burn. Let's go. Now we're making it. It's starting to level out a little bit. It'll really start to level out once we hit past this mailbox right here. All right, now we're leveling out.